Hi guys, welcome back to Scraps and Stories. Today's guest is a very, very special guest. Like, I've wanted to have this girl on the podcast for such a long time. Just know, this has been long awaited for. Michelle herself is on here. Michelle, can you introduce yourself to your listeners? Because at this point,
welcome to Scraps and Stories.
There you go. Okay.
Finally, even the thought of being seated here, the way it began,
Yeah.
I'm so excited. For the ones who know me and the ones who are yet to know me, my name is Jepkuri Kibet Michelle, doctor.
Period.
Doctor Jepkuri Kibet. I am. What do you say? I am from Kenya. I'm a medical student. Maybe a medical student.
Hi, welcome back to Scraps and Stories, a podcast that brings you stories from the world of medicine and beyond.
Michelle, do you want to tell them how we first met? Because I feel like that's such an interesting story.
Yeah, how we actually met was I was going through this rabbit hole of looking for anything related to Yagelonian University because I was coming here and I was on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, anything related, and I jumped into this page that had your class of 2020.
I think my class is the only one that ever did such a thing.
Yeah, that had this introduction thing that you introduce yourselves to your classmates.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I'm seeing a black girly. And I'm just there like, I think I should just shoot a DM. And I think I shot a DM. At first I had messaged Faith because I found Faith on Instagram as well. I had messaged her. We were talking about getting an apartment. I was talking about getting an apartment and everything. Then I DM'd you as well. And then I don't even know how we got to the conversation that we're living together.
Crazy.
Like it was like a hi, introducing yourself. The next minute we're in
the house together. But yeah, fast forward 3 years.
3 years.
We lived together for 3 years.
3 beautiful years.
Yeah.
Best 3 years of med school, by the way. Highlight of my med school.
Yeah. That's how I met Michelle, the beautiful Michelle. But yeah, like she said, it was the best 3 years of med school, to be honest. Yeah, but also, aside from that, our journeys to med school are also not the typical journeys of medical students.
Diving into the deep end.
Let's just get straight into it. How did we get here? My story is a bit different. I think a lot of people ask me, do you always get that question of why Poland?
100%. Every single person. Polish or non-Polish, why Poland?
Right. It's like the first question they ask.
Always.
But I think it was just, I keep saying it was just meant to be because Poland wasn't planned. Like, I didn't wake up and think, oh, I want to go study medicine in Poland. No. I just think it just happened around the time I was looking for schools because it was kind of like hard to apply into like universities in Rwanda and stuff. So I'm trying to look for schools anywhere and everywhere. And lo and behold, my sister is like, you know what? There's this country called Poland that I'm going to for a work trip. Let's see and apply if you can get into a university there. And that's how I got here. But it was never a straight journey. Like, you know, even thinking of medical school, I think that was a late decision for me. I think I decided to actually go into med school after high school. But I've always known I wanted to be a doctor. It's just that I was scared. I'm like, I'm not meant for this. Like the years, the stress, you know, all the things you hear about med school. I was like, So I don't know. It was just a late decision for me. Everything here, Poland, medical school. How is that for you?
I think that's where we share and our stories because it was also very late for me. I think I went through very many like ups and downs. Mostly downs before I settled in Poland and it's been a breeze ever since. Where do we start? I knew I was going to be a doctor.
Right.
Was it my decision? I don't know. All my life, I was hearing, "Oh, Michelle, you're going to be a doctor. Michelle is going to be the doctor," and that was engraved in my head that I'm going to be a doctor because I was great at sciences and maths. Who knows? So that I grew up my whole life saying doctor, doctor, doctor. Then in high school, I realized I'm good. I'm pretty good in math, and I did a math contest on my final year of high school, and I did really well. Got a position in Strathmore University to do ACCA, and that's when, for the first time, I thought, do I really want to be a doctor?
Right.
Yeah, so joined Strathmore, did accounting, hated it, but not for the reasons of didn't really like it. Accounting is because I felt like it was quite boring and everything, but it was nice. I wish to go back. Then that's when the med school came back. You can still pursue medicine. That's my parents saying you still can pursue medicine.
Yeah.
And this is when there was a lot of strikes, lecture strikes in Kenya, and they were like, you know what, if you're to pursue medicine, it would be abroad. Went to an organization and said, this is my budget, I want to study
At
medicine
that point,
abroad.
you're already decided, I'm not doing accounting anymore.
Yes, I had decided I wasn't doing accounting anymore. Yeah, I was done. Was it
Was it because
done.
you didn't like it, or you just felt like the calling for medicine was just still there and you had to pursue it?
Okay, it was a mixture of both. It's not like I didn't like accounting. I loved accounting and everything, but my father is an accountant, and I felt like I was being taught at home and in school and everything, and I was like, this is a lot.
Yeah.
It's so much pressure, and I enjoyed it, but I felt like something was off. It was off because when all your life you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to be a doctor, I'm going to be a doctor, and then you find yourself in a situation and you're like, something feels off. Because it feels like, oh, I'm not fulfilling the one thing that I thought I would.
Yeah, I think that's also kind of the feeling I had after high school. Like, I did physics and math, and after that I was like, really, do I really want to continue this path of engineering and physics and math? Can I just pursue medicine? I think it just keeps calling you. Yeah.
There's something in you that is like, there was something missing.
Right.
And that was probably medicine at that point. So
I think also the PR of medics and doctors at that time was really good. Like, we thought
all
doctors,
our childhood.
right? We thought, it's such an honor to have the DR in front of your name, like,
Like, we can't lie when you're in school and everyone is like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you're like, doctor. Everyone is like,
yeah, right. But now I think it's different.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
So and that's when I decided to go to medicine. Got an opportunity to go to Hungary, and that's where Hungary came into the picture. I went to do pre-med.
How did you think of Hungary?
I didn't think of it. I just had gone to this organization that deals with studying abroad. And I told them I want to do medicine. This is my budget. And they gave me options. They gave me options of Hungary, Mauritius, Malaysia as well, South Africa, all these places. And my mom made the decision of Hungary because it was in Europe. They were like, oh, you're in Europe, you have many options. And that's when I landed in Hungary for BMC, pre-med. What do you... Now that's a story on its own.
That's a story for another day.
Story. By the time you get to how I landed in Poland, how I landed in Poland is I got to a point when I was in Hungary that I didn't want to do it again. I didn't want to do medicine again.
Wow.
Yes, totally. the parts of the story that I'm just there like, it might point me like, I'm dilly-dallying, but the main point is it was true feelings, those true emotions.
Right.
And I didn't want to do medicine at all, and I wanted to go back to finance. And I remember on a fateful day, I called my dad, and I'm like, I'm done with this. I'm not doing it anymore, and everything. And I think his response made me stay, because his response was like, you don't have to. Like, if you know what, shower, eat, go for dinner, sleep. Tomorrow morning, if you feel like that's not what you want to do anymore, fine, you're on the next flight to Kenya. And I sat down and I was like, who am I really doing this for? Like, like the pressure is gone. I thought, oh yeah, doing medicine was like, I've been told I'll be a doctor my whole life.
Yes.
And if I'm not a doctor, like I'm either failing myself and failing someone else. I think that response made me think back, and I'm like, what am I doing this for?
Yeah,
Who am I doing this for? And that's when, at first, I looked into other options. I looked into finance. I applied to a lot of finance schools. But something told me, check other med schools around you. Maybe it's just a change of environment I needed. And that's when I was having this conversation with Melissa, my best friend, by the way.
Shout out to you.
Shout out to her. And she was like, oh, my dad was studying in Poland, and she was looking into Poland as well. And that's when I just went best med schools in Europe. I ranked them and my budget. And the first one there that was around my budget, the same as in Hungary, was Jagiellonian University. And then University of Warsaw, and then Gdansk. And I was like, Poland might be the place to go. So I applied to Poland, and I applied to Czech Republic as well. And funny enough, looking at the website, I loved Jagiellonian.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I'm here. And I am with Samira.
5 years in.
5 years in. And I'm like, who would have thought back then, when I wanted to quit, I'd be in 5th year? Not me.
Right.
Not me.
Sometimes I just have to wake myself up. I'm like, are you actually in 6th year, almost done?
Imagine.
Like, I can vividly remember my first day in med school. So confused, not knowing what to do. I always felt like, how did I get here?
Yeah.
Is that like, and I never realized that, which brings me to our topic today, actually. Like, feeling like an imposter, like I was never meant to be here. It just happened by luck, or like, I don't know, God just did his own thing and I found myself here. So I think every time I have to wake myself up, I'm like, you're actually in med school now. Now it feels real. Actually, in 6th year, it feels real, because you're now looking at the future. You're like, in a few months, I'll actually be a doctor.
Yeah.
I'll have a lot of responsibilities. So, I have to step up. But, when you're still in 1st year and 2nd year, you're confused.
100%.
Confused.
100%. You're just trying to make it to the next year, finish the next exam. Yeah. So,
let me tell you, this was supposed to be, these things that I'm about to read, they were supposed to be icebreakers, but you look at us, like, the way we talk,
we're yappers.
it just keeps running.
We're yappers.
And it's actually a thing I found on the internet. It talks about types of medical students. Like, what kind of medical student are you? What type of medical student are you? So I'm going to read through this.
I'm going to try to be very honest.
Yeah, we're both going to try to be honest. And we'll see. You tell me which one you think you are.
Okay.
And which one you wish you'd be.
Okay.
Okay, so type 1, the overachiever. So their traits: they live for 100% scores and gold stars. Habits: color-coded notes, pre-reads lectures, and joins every committee. Their vibe is hyper-disciplined, perfectionist energy, ambitious, and unstoppable. Pros: Inspiring, focused, and dependable. Cons, easily stressed and struggles to relax. Next one.
Yeah.
The chill genius. Barely studies yet crashes every exam. Habits, reads once, remembers forever. Calm, unbothered, naturally gifted. Pros, cool under pressure. Cons, impossible to relate to or replicate. I think you're this. There's no, I think you're this.
I listened to the whole thing in the first column and I was like, that's definitely not me.
That's you. What do you
The first
mean?
column of hype joins every committee, reads all the time.
Yeah.
That is definitely not me.
Guilty. I'm not
100%.
the overachiever.
Like, I look at people in med school and I think I'm not a model medical student. Like when we were listening on how medical students are, they read all the time and everything. That's definitely not me.
Yeah, not a typical.
I am the person who, you know how people study the whole, and I might expose myself over here, study so much, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month, 2 months for a certain exam. Catch Michelle 4 days before.
Oh my god, that is so you, by the way.
All-nighters. I'm an all-nighter
Energy
queen,
drink
100%.
on the side.
Energy drink and an all-nighter. I'm good to go.
Oh my goodness. No, like the overachiever, you lost me when you said color-coded notes because my notes... I actually look at other medical students and I look how they actually write their notes so neatly and I'm like, my brain is all over the place. Like, I'm writing here, I'm writing there. No, that's where you lost me. Michelle, do you want to read the next one?
Yeah, for sure. I'm thinking the empath traits are deeply connected to patient emotions, habits, always confronting others and offering support, vibe, gentle, intuitive, heartfelt. Pros, a very amazing bedside manner, and cons is emotionally drained easily. Yeah.
Deeply connected to patient. I think so. I think of, always comforting others and offering support. Vibe, gentle, intuitive, and heartfelt. I think to a certain point I am, which is why I don't know, certain specialties could be hard for me, like oncology, like dealing with cancer patients, or like pediatrics to a certain level, because I feel like at some point I kind of relate so much to the patients. Yeah, so
the empath part, I get it because I'm a very emotional person in general, but I feel like also not being with the patient one-on-one all the time, especially being in Poland, has stripped from actually, interacting with the patient very intimately.
Yeah, because the conversation is also limited.
Because the conversation is limited. So I usually feel like really deeply about it, but not as deep as it should, because I'm like, I only have like a couple of minutes with them.
Right.
And then the next minute is like, on to the next.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe with time when we're all graduated and we're dealing with our own patients, that's when they will hit me.
Yeah, we haven't had that much experience to actually know it for this kind of
medical students.
Yeah. The next one,
The content creator.
Yep.
Which is shout out to her. Let me tell you, before we move on to content creator, I think getting here to the podcast, it started with you doing a lot of vlogs and stories and reels of med school on your Instagram. Then all of a sudden you were like, I'm gonna start a podcast. Then I was like, okay, I see it, and then all of a sudden there is a podcast, and I'm like, yeah, that's a content creator.
It's crazy.
That's you.
You know what's crazy? I've never really viewed myself as a content creator. I just you know me. I love taking pictures.
100%.
Like, not even just pictures of myself. I like taking pictures of people. places. Like, if there's one thing about me, if we're doing something, I'll be like taking pictures. So I love recording things. So I think it just started small like that, and then I realized I love like this is something I love, like making reels, making videos and stuff. But then the podcast thing, I think it was I had always had it since like first year, and then you go to a point, you know how you do like vision boards, but at the beginning of the year I was like, I'll do a podcast this year, but I didn't think it was going to happen at all, because every other year since like second year or first year I was putting it on my vision board.
Yeah.
And then this year I'm like, you know what, if I'd recorded something, if I'd started it in first year, there's a lot of change I would have seen at this point.
100%.
You know? Like, listening back to the kind of mind or the kind of mindset I had in first year, and now it's very different. So, like, looking back at that, it would have been so inspiring for me even. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just go and see what you know?
We are just happy. I was just like, finally we have a podcast. It's been a long time coming.
And there you are, you're here. The co-host.
I'm honored. I'm honored. You know?
Yeah.
Stay tuned, you might see me again.
Oh, you're going to see us so many times. This is literally the co-host. Like, at this point, yeah.
Yeah, but I have a question, to be honest. How has it felt being in med school this far? And how do you feel about being a doctor? Because you're going to be a doctor very soon. How when you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, it's in a couple of months to graduation, how does that feel, and how has it felt so far ever since your whole journey of med school?
Okay, so I'll first talk about like the preclinical years.
Yeah.
First year, second year, third year. You know, I wasn't worried much about the future. You know, I'm like, let me worry about anatomy first. I have anatomy, I have histology. Let me worry about actually making it through med school, you know? So that's what was on my mind at that time. And after like maybe third year, fourth year, and like above, you now start going to hospitals and you start seeing like real cases and start talking to real patients. So that kind of gives you the experience of like a little bit of the experience of being a doctor, you know? And it's very exciting during those years, you know, when you first wear your scrubs and
around you.
Exactly, you're walking in the hospitals or the first patient you talk to, you know, it's very exciting. And I think with years, like as you progress, now you start seeing how serious it is. Like, I didn't think, like in third year, I didn't think it would get to a point where you have like so much responsibility and so many things you have to think about. Now I see the seriousness because I've seen different cases. I've been with different patients. Now I'm like, you know, it's actually serious. You have to be, you know, you have to be on top of your books. You have to know stuff. And in sixth year now, it's even worse. You start feeling like, you know, in a few months, I'm going to actually be the doctor. You know how they give you cases and you're like, you know, the doctor is going to do it. Like, I'm going to refer to the doctor, but in a few months, you're going to be the doctor.
100%.
You know? So you have to like know stuff. So I think it's a bittersweet feeling, knowing that, okay, I'm soon going to be done with med school, but again, I'm entering this whole phase of, you know, a lot of responsibility. It's a whole new phase that you don't know much about. So it's scary a bit.
Slippery slope.
Yeah. How does it feel in fifth year?
I still can't believe I'm here.
Right? You're still recovering.
Yeah, me. Oh, 50.
Yeah.
And I think that goes to actually the topic of the day. Imposter syndrome. Like, it's like, you think to yourself, oh my God, I'm in 50, how did I get here and everything. I think for me, when you think about imposter syndrome, it's like feeling like you don't belong. I would say I never felt like I don't belong, to be honest. it was more like I think more people deserved it. Like, you know, I look at how I went through med school, like how I made it this far, and I'm like, damn, people were taking this way more serious than me. And I'm like, am I missing something?
Yeah.
Am I not? Because you talk to people. Like, I talk to my friends, and I'm like, why do you want to be a doctor? Or, you know, how does it feel like you're going to be a doctor? And someone is really excited. Someone is like, oh yeah, I've been dreaming about this my whole life, and I can't wait to be a doctor. I can't wait to help people. I can't, you know, you're like, people are very enthusiastic about this.
It, yeah.
And I'm just like, it's like I'm ticking a box. Like, you know.
Oh, okay.
It feels like you're ticking the, oh, I did med school box.
Yeah.
And you're like, people are way more excited about this than me. And they're taking it more seriously than me. Like, you know, and I'm like, oh, is that people that deserve this one?
And I think that's the majority of medical students.
100%.
They're like 70%. But my experience was very different. Like, my kind of imposter syndrome was very different from that. It was more like feeling like I don't know much. You know, like in the hospitals when you're students. I actually read it somewhere and I was like, you're literally describing me. You're with students and then a doctor is asking you questions. You know, it's literally, you know, do you know this? What's this? What's this? What's this? And it's like I think it happens to a lot of people. You feel like others know way more than you know. But it doesn't mean that you don't know much. It just, in medicine, there's a vast, you know, not majority, but there's a lot to learn. There's a lot of knowledge that you need to, a lot of things that you need to know, and you can't know everything. So at some point, you just feel like, I don't know much. You just keep pushing yourself down. You're like, I don't know. Am I going to be a good doctor if I don't know this? Am I going, you know? And I feel like that's the kind of imposter syndrome I had. Feeling like, am I actually supposed to be here if I think, especially in the first few years, I didn't feel like that smart. Because, again, you know, the stereotypical, you know, students, like what you hear from other people or the internet, it's like only smart people are here. So I'm here and I'm like, okay, I don't think I'm that smart. Am I supposed to be here? You know, like, was it a mistake?
Like, you know, when you think about, you know, that feeling, I get that feeling when you think about it and you're like, am I meant to be here? Am I that smart? Like, you know, the people who are like smarter and everything, way smarter. But you see now, at the end of the day, you all did an exam to get here. It's not like you are all dumped here and then you're like, oh yeah, let's see who flourishes. We all had to sit an exam and there were people that made it and people who didn't. So it's like, that feeling is so valid, 100%. But I think what helped me was realizing that I made it. I deserve to be here because I did an exam and passed it to be here, you know. But when you get here, there are people who now read 24/7, you know, and fares credit to them. And then you're just a typical medical student, you know.
Yeah. It's also the image of what everyone has about, you know, the typical medical student. You're supposed to be like this, you're supposed to be like that. And that's what I had when I came into med school. I just felt, and that's why I maybe contributed to my imposter syndrome, because I knew I wasn't like that. Like we just talked about that types of medical students. You know, I knew I wasn't like for example, the overachiever who, you know, has the best notes, has like everything done, everything. No. But I knew that I love it and I can actually put a lot of like energy into it. Yeah. So I don't know. It comes from the image other people have of what med school or what a medical student should be like. And then when you compare yourself to that, you're like,
Am I missing something?
Am I actually that?
Yeah. And now being in sixth year, like you're almost done, do you feel like you have overcome that feeling, or what did you do to even start overcoming that feeling, or you know?
I think the first thing for me, I didn't think anyone else feels like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the first thing that helped me was knowing that I'm not the only one feeling this way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the only one feeling like a fraud. A lot of a lot of other people are feeling this way. And I read it on the internet. I'm like, whoa, 70% of medical students feel like this? I'm like, what? So knowing that I'm not the only one who feels like an imposter or who has this thought of feeling like they're not inadequate or they should learn more, they should do more, knowing that, it kind of helped me to feel like, okay, you know, you actually, you don't have a problem. Just keep trying, you know. You're worthy of being in this place. That's one. Another thing that helped me a lot is pacing myself, not comparing myself to everyone else, you know, but actually being my own competitor. I think that helped me so much because when you compare yourself to other people,
Comparison is a thief of joy.
yes, you're comparing yourself to other medical students, you're comparing yourself to your peers outside of medical school. You're like, oh my god, where am I in life?
People are graduating.
I know people are graduating, people are jobs, like they're actually working, and you're actually here just in school in winter clothes and running after buses, like
You're in a stethoscope against the wall.
exactly. So when I stopped comparing myself to other people, it just gave me it's just me and myself. Who were you the past year? Do you feel like you're a better person now? Are you actually trying, Samira? Like I started being very honest with myself, not sugarcoating anything. Are you actually trying, or are you being lazy? You know? Were you supposed to get these grades, or you can actually get better?
Yeah.
You know? So I think just being honest with myself, I don't think I've overcome it. It will always be there, depending on where you are in your situations. Because maybe I may not feel like an imposter now as a medical student, but when I get to like
Hospital setting as a doctor, it might.
you're like, oh my god, every doctor knows everything, you know? Yeah, so I think it comes in different forms and different ways, and it's just up to you to know yourself. Like, when was the first time you actually felt that? Feeling like an imposter?
I think when the first time I actually felt like an imposter is when I joined med school and everyone is so happy and so excited and they can't wait. Like, I think also because our imposter syndromes are kind of different. Your
Yeah.
imposter syndrome is feeling you're inadequate in knowledge. My imposter syndrome is feeling like I don't think I want this as much as other people, so I feel like I've taken someone else's spot,
Right.
you know. And I think that's when I felt it. I felt it when I came here and we are talking to people and they've been looking forward their whole lives and they can't wait to be doctors, they can't wait to be surgeons, and they're like, I'm gonna be a surgeon, can't wait to be a surgeon and do this. And then you're like, I don't even know what I want to be. I want to be an oncologist, no. An interventional radiologist, no. A cardiologist, no. A cardiothoracic surgeon. It's like I'm just there, like why do I want to be this today? Because I enjoyed it,
Right.
or because I realized they make more money, because I realized like I'm more successful. You know, it's like yeah. And then the next minute you're like, I think I'm just gonna get this degree and go back to finance, or I think I'm gonna get this degree and do something else. So it's like I felt like I was taking someone else's spot who wanted it more than I did. And for me, it was like, for me, I feel like I was here because I felt at that time that I was here because I'm just taking up like something I needed to do to feel whole, you know? Because all my life is like, you're going to be a doctor. And now you're like, if I'm not a doctor, then what am I? So,
do you feel like that feeling has changed? Do you feel like now you love it more, or?
yes.
over the
I
years?
think what changed was that situation that I had when I wanted to leave. I think when I wanted to leave totally and I was so done with it, and this goes to how parents should act when it comes to like that children in medicine and everything. I think having that conversation with my dad and him saying, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. You know, and you can always change any single time. If you think that you want to do it today, 2 years down the line, you don't want to do it, fine. You know, it was like, I felt like that pressure has been like lifted out of me. And that changed in that way that I was like, okay, fine. Do I think that this is a good thing to do? Yes.
Right.
Am I sure that am I 100% sure that this is what I want to do? Not so much, but I know I won't regret doing it. Like, you know, when you think about it, you're like, having a medical degree is good. Yes, I've spent years, but it's not something bad to have. You know, you can be a doctor and go into something else. You can be a doctor and implement something else. So for me, it's like I sat myself down and I'm like, yeah, I'm not getting stressed from home. I can quit anytime and I'll be okay. I'm not getting stressed from anyone else. It's just myself. So I told myself, is it a good thing to have? Of course. Will I figure it out? Of course. Is anyone going to push me? No. So that's when I came down and I was like, yeah, you're here with university because you're smart enough to enter and you're studying one of the best courses in the world, 100%, and you've made it through this far to fifth year or to sixth year and everything. Yeah, it's not a bad thing to have.
Like this is your space. Like this is your place. You're meant to be here.
I'm meant to be here, and that's when the imposter syndrome kind of like went off. Like, yes, sometimes it creeps in. I am not 100% sure about the future. I really don't know. Like, the people who are more like laser focused than me. I'm still.
I love how different we are in this concept because, like you said, for you it was like something to tick off, you know, your list.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like tunnel vision.
Tunnel vision.
You know, but that tunnel vision has also kind of changed throughout the years. It got to a point where I felt like, you know, and I think I was reading it on the internet where it says how doctors face an identity crisis if medicine or being a doctor doesn't work out in the end, because that's all you've ever envisioned of yourself of being. But I think for me, it got to a point throughout the years where I think I learned it from someone who said, you know, treat med school as a side hustle and do something else, because if you think of med school as your whole life, all you do is study, all you do is doing, you know, research, all you do is like read and, you know, trying to be the best, which is a good thing, but also find something else on the side. Like, find something else that you love. Because I think when I learned that is when I started treating med school as a side hustle as well. You know, it's something I love, but it shouldn't really define me and my whole life.
And your whole life?
Exactly. Like, you know, I love business. You know, you should also learn about business.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be empty-headed when it comes to business or other things. You know, try to educate yourself about other things as well.
I think what piggybacks on what you've said and what also helped me is the fact that I entered med school thinking, oh yeah, when you do medicine, you only have to be a doctor.
Right.
When you enter here, the world is like your oyster. You can do medical law, you can go into policy, you can go to public health, you can do research, you can go any single place that you want. And that's when I was like, I can find something I love in this whole thing. And that goes to say that your world is your oyster. You can do anything with this degree, to be honest. If you think that, I want to join med school and do something else, bloody do it. If you want to get the degree and not even be in medicine, do it.
Yeah, you have unlimited choices. So don't limit yourself. Have an open mind.
100%.
Yeah.
Agreed.
For sure. And that kind of brings us to the end of this episode.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was really fast.
That was fast. It was so enjoyable.
But yeah, before we end the episode, I'd like you to kind of like give advice. We talked about a lot of things in this episode. We talked about our own experiences, how we would be would I say framed? Would be framed to be the untypical medical student. Our journeys to medical school were not a straight path,
100%.
And even through med school, it wasn't a straight path, Feeling like an imposter, feeling like you don't belong, or feeling like you took someone else's place. And as we talked about as well, this is not a feeling just me and you feel. It's a lot of people that feel this way. So what would be your advice to someone feeling like an imposter?
Okay, the first thing I would say, in both ways, feeling an imposter either because you think you know less, or feeling an imposter on my end of thinking that there are people more deserving than this, or you're actually not taking it as seriously as it's typically supposed to be, is number one, clear the distractions. I would say clear everything that got you to this point that you're in med school in your head. If it was because of your parents, or because of circumstance, or it's because of money or anything, just clear it and sit by yourself and think, why do I want this? And if I do this in the next 10, 15, 16 years, how would I feel about the decision that I made?
Right.
And if you feel like you would be okay with it, do it. And also remove every pressure of have to complete or have to do med school. The best advice is remove the pressure of this is what I need to do, and if I don't do it, I'm a failure.
Yeah.
I think my story goes to tell that you can do this, do something else, spend 10 years, because honestly, it will be like 10 years in searching for this degree. Not searching, more like pursuing this degree, because I started from finance, moved to med school, quit, wanted to go back to finance and accounting, come back, changed countries. You can change and quit anytime, and don't be afraid of trying again. I think.
Yeah.
So it's just clearing the distractions, sit with yourself, make this decision for yourself.
Yeah.
So that years down the line you can be like, yeah, I was okay with that. And getting a medical degree isn't that bad, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's a good investment.
For sure. Also, don't always try not to compare yourself to other people.
100%.
Know your own path and know your own goals, because a lot of people, when they're in medical school, or even they try to compare to people outside of medical school, but you're living way two different lives, Or my colleagues have already, finished their school, they have already graduated, they're doing their masters, their PhD, and I'm still here. Try not to compare. You both have different goals. Or even the students in medical school, they're going to pursue their careers in other places, other countries. You have a whole different path. So, try not to compare yourself to other people, and
100%.
Enjoy the ride.
No matter how long it takes, enjoy the ride. One thing I like about med school also is so many different people are here. I look at my class, the people who are young, 21, 22, the people who are in their 30s, 40s, and we all met here just because we're pursuing something we want to do. It doesn't matter what the 30-year-old was doing, or the 22-year-old was
Some people have degrees before they had a whole degree before they came to med school, so it's unlimited.
The main point is you passed to get into med school.
And you're here. And use the chance.
100%.
Period. Yeah. So before we end the podcast, I just wanted to read this Substack. I've been obsessed with this app recently, and that's kind of my advice to someone who is feeling like an imposter. So I'm going to read one part and you help me read another one.
Of course.
Okay. The title of this Substack is The Weight of Effort Coexisting with Self-Doubt. I'm going to be real honest with you all. I can't remember a time I wasn't in a constant state of stress. Stressed about deadlines, stressed about exams, stressed about being the only one in the room who doesn't seem to know what the hell is being spoken about. Now I'm no stranger to imposter syndrome. Neither are most of my counterparts. Between the flashcards, textbooks, and late night spirals, I try to navigate through my self-doubt in a sea of brilliance. Any success I gain is driven through effort, yet the same successes seem to come with ease to others, which can never seem to go unnoticed by me. In fact, some days it's all I notice. Does having to work twice as hard to remember something mean I'm just not cut out for it? Why do they all remember it, but I can't? Will that make me a bad doctor? It will, won't it? Why am I among these people? I should just give up before I get too deep and inevitably get jobbed, right? For me, medical school can sometimes feel like running on that hamster wheel, constant motion, yet the end so far from reach. The fear that stopping even for a second will cause me to go flying off that wheel. My mind never seems to relax, as if I'm always waiting to be called out. For someone to see right through me, I find it crawling into the smallest things, getting anxious telling people I'm a medical student with the fear that they overestimate my intelligence, ask me questions I most likely won't have the answers to, wrongfully give me high praise when I'm simply mediocre in this field, trapped on a pedestal that I'll eventually fall off, disappointing them all.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, it has never really been limited to med school. I felt like an imposter in every place I've stepped into, like I'm simply playing the part that I will eventually fumble. I keep waiting for that one day I finally wake up with a sense of reassurance, some sort of quiet certainty that settles deeper than the doubts. I used to think this would come after preclinical years of medical school, finally out of those gloomy lecture halls and classrooms. I know now that feeling never seems to truly disappear.
Funnily enough, even the most accomplished people, those people you compare yourself to, are always plagued with imposter syndrome. A big part of my journey at medical school has been learning to coexist with my uncertainty. The truth is, no matter how much I tend to forget it, I do belong where I am. I have worked hard and I am capable as anyone else in my position. Sure, it takes me a little longer to get here, but I will get there. I may not be the smartest person in the room, but I am in the room.
You are in the room.
I am in the room.
Yeah.
That itself means something. I am still figuring out how to live alongside my doubt and not silencing them, but softening their edges. To keep showing up and keep learning, to keep believing that even in the noise, I have a place in the buildings I stand in. To coexist with self-doubt is to learn to keep moving even though the whisper grows loud. In truth, confidence isn't the absence of doubt. It's the decision to move forward despite it. Feeling comfortable in uncomfortable uncertainty. Allow it to sit in the room with you, or without letting it take the lead and letting you give in. It's understanding that doubt doesn't mean you're incapable, but that you care enough to question yourself and want to be better. It's proof that you're still growing. Those who have stopped doubting even often stopped trying. You're still trying, and that is enough. And
You're still trying, and that is enough.
That's the main point. I didn't say the
What do
main
you feel
point.
about this? Like,
I think that speaks to both our situations.
Yeah.
Feeling like you're not the smartest person in the room. But the exact same thing we said, you made it to med
the
school.
room,
Like you
yeah.
weren't like you weren't dumped in here.
Yeah.
You passed your exams to get here.
You worked hard
so
for
you
it.
actually deserve to be there. So, and that goes to doubt, like, is there someone who's more deserving than me in my situation? Am I less deserving because I'm not as enthusiastic as other people? So no, I am in the room. I am meant to be in the room.
Act like
I am
it.
trying to act like I'm deserving, you know?
Use the chances. You're here for a reason.
Yeah.
You're in med school for a reason, and you're going to be a great doctor.
Yeah, and who knows, like, the exact same thing we were talking about. Who knows what we can do with this degree?
Exactly.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the best thing, guys, is walking down those hospital halls and hearing, "Good morning, Doctor. Good morning, doctor."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's DR in front of your name. Yeah.
Best
It does
feeling
something
ever.
to your
Let me
psyche.
tell you, that's when I felt like, yeah, I like this feeling. You know, the time I felt, I was like, I think I'm not gonna quit this time.
Yeah.
Was the time I was walking down the streets of the hospital, and a doctor. It was actually a doctor. Came across me and he was like, "Good morning, Doctor." And I was like, "Yeah, good morning, Doctor." What do you mean, me?
I was like, what?
Me?
Is that me you're calling?
Yeah.
So you
that's-
deserve it. We deserve it. And yeah, like we said, we use the chance to the best ability we can, to be
And
honest.
no matter how long it takes you, no matter how much time you have to spend,
Yeah.
you deserve to be in the room.
Right. Yeah, that brings us to the end of this episode.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
It's been amazing.
I
Thank
know.
you so
I
much.
loved. This was a very interesting and very fun conversation. Very relatable as well. Like.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And see you in the next episode.
See you guys.
Bye.